So one thing I was wondering about is, what was it like for you guys jumping into this movie where the lead role had already been cast? Did that throw you off at all, or does picturing Brie from day one make your job even easier than you would imagine?
I mean, she was absolutely one of the main draws for us, because, I mean, we were excited about the idea of Marvel making the Captain Marvel movie for sure, but it was when Brie Larson that was cast that we could see it. And the humanity that she can bring to it, and just the range of emotion that she can express, and not wanting to create a superhero where we're denying that, but where we're really embracing it. It was definitely one of the reasons that we wanted to do the film.
Yeah.
And I was wondering for you guys, what did you find to be the most surprising part about the directing process on a Marvel movie?
Well, I think for us, it's the collaboration, which is not weird at all because there's two of us and we're collaborative by nature, but it's the size of the collaboration. And on our other movies, we're used to working really with just the two of us and a very small group of maybe 4 or 5 other key collaborators. On this, it's in the dozens, you know, if not the hundreds, because there's just, the movie's so massive, and at first that's a challenge, but it's also really a blessing because we're working with the most talented people in this business, and so they know how to do things you know, better than we could on our own.
Given all of those new additions, who would you call maybe the unsung hero of Captain Marvel? Someone you didn't even know was going to be key to you while making this movie?
Oh my gosh, I don't think that I could choose just one person because there are so many. I mean, I don't know if you sat through the whole credits. I bet you did.
I did. I wasn't missing that.
I bet you did. I mean, just looking at the number of people who were involved in the visual effects for this movie, just so many artists, and so a dozen different companies, so many artists, and not all of them are even on there. I mean, it's just impossible. It's impossible to name just one person. You know, we worked with editors on our movie for the first time. I've edited all our other films, and just learning what that collaboration can be like and how much they can add to it, and just having, you know, 2 more brains to work on something together. Our visual effects supervisor, Chris Townsend, also just such a creative person, so excited to like learn about what we're thinking and then build off of that, and he's such a wonderful collaborator. Ben Davis, who did our cinematography. I mean, it's been...
We're going to take up all your time naming names.
Sorry, yeah, I gotta stop.
This is what I like to celebrate, though. But I also like to celebrate cats, so obviously Goose is one of my favorite parts of the movie. But I was curious, how did you come to the decision to name the cat Goose instead of sticking with Chewie?
I don't... You know, it wasn't. Speak to that?
No, it wasn't a big thing. It just felt like Star Wars was so part of the culture that it just felt like we wanted to remove it a little bit. You know, the nostalgia for the Star Wars movies, which there are so many of around us. You know, when we were kids, Star Wars felt like it was something from the 70s and 80s, and I think that was the spirit of Chewie from the comics. But we felt like we wanted to sort of just slide away from that slightly.
Yeah, and just the idea of having a reference that would have been so specific to Carol Danvers' past, as her past in the movie itself, being a pilot in the 1980s when Top Gun was out, and having a reference that felt a little bit more specific to her, whereas Chewie, when the comics were being written, was a very specific reference in time, but now with like all the movies out, it feels, you know, more contemporary and not so specific to her past.
Understandable.